Hello dear friends, I'm Samuel Moore and welcome to my Study with Samuel Flamenco Guitar series. So today, I'd like to look at the flamenco palo, Tangos. Tangos is a medium-tempo flamenco form with 4 beats to the bar. In this sense, Tangos is very different to the other forms we've looked at. You don't have to count to 12, you just have to count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. In terms of its key, you can play Tangos in many different keys, but most commonly it's played in the key of A phrygian. So your main chords for the Compás are A and B flat. And you can put a few little details in on those chords. For instance, on the A you can put the B flat into the chord, so it's more of a phrygian sound. And on the B flat, I don't mind whether you prefer to use this voicing with the F or this voicing with the D. Now, as I've previously mentioned, these videos are not designed to teach you the whole structure of tangos, and they're not designed to teach you falsettas or escorbillas. They're really just designed to give you a good understanding of the core idea that underpins Tangos Compás. What we're going to do is establish one core idea and then look at a few variations to make your Compás playing more varied and interesting. So let's begin by establishing our core idea, and we can then build variations on that theme. The basic idea we're going to look at today is this. So before we look at any variations, let's just deconstruct that and work out what's going on. It's really very simple. The main idea to work with is that you're moving from the B flat chord to the A chord. So in terms of the count, you're really just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, in terms of what's going on with the different hands, let's break this down beat by beat. So we're starting on the B flat chord, and on beat 1, you're going to do a tap. Now, when we get to beat 2, we're going to do the down strike with the fingers, and we're going to come out from the little finger first, down, 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 finishing on the index. This is the important bit though. You need to land on the beat. So you're basically starting on the and. So you're going 1 and then and is a triplet. And then finally, downstroke on the beat. So it's 1 and 2. I'll do that again. 1 and 2. In other words, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 1, 2, 3, 1. You basically do that twice in a row. So it's 1, 2, 3. And this is all on the B flat. So it'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3. Then on beat 4, we take away these 2 fingers of the chord and we land on the G with the second finger played as a rest stroke with the index. My apologies, played as a rest stroke with the thumb. So what you get is this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, you've come to the end of that first 4-beat sequence. So what happens now? Well, we move back to the A chord as we play the open A, because the line is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And as we play that 1, we land on the chord. Now the next bit's a bit difficult. You've got to pay attention to what the right hand does. So once you've played the bass note, with the index finger you're going to go up, down. So it's bass, up, down, and then we're going to do something with the left hand. We're going to put the phrygian note in to the chord with the third finger. And then we're going to do another one of those strikes that goes da 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 da, where you land on the beat. So you've basically gone bass, up, down, you put the note in, and then you go down, 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 down. So altogether that's bass, up, down, 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 down. And then finally, you do an upstroke. So it's bass, up, down, 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 up. And then for beat 4, take that finger away again and just go down and up with the index one last time. So in other words, with this hand, it's bass, up, down, 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 up, down, up. And with this hand, as you go bass, up, down, you play like that. And then when you go da, 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 down, up, you put that note in. And then when you do the final down, up, you take it away again. Put it all together. Bass, up, down, 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 up, down, up. So let's now mix that in with the first half of the phrase. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's our main idea. Let's quickly loop that a few times at a bit of a faster tempo before we start talking about embellishments. Here we go. One thing you need to watch out for there, just be careful when you're looping. After you finish, you've got to remember the first thing you do is a tap. So just be mindful of that when you're practicing. Also, do bear in mind, I was deliberately playing that a lot slower than we would normally play tangos. Tangos is normally at that sort of tempo, but when practicing it slower so you can get detail right is really important. So having established that one core idea, let's now look at different ways we can embellish it so that if you were performing solo or accompanying, you can get a lot of variety into your playing. The first variation we're going to look at is very simple. All we're going to do is change the bass line. What we have so far is this. Just the G moving to the A. Now, this is a nice idea, but we could probably do more with it. A really common and classic idea in tangos is to play open E and then hammer on to F and G. So where we do this in the Compás is we go 1, 2, 3, and then on the and of 3, we play the open E and then we hammer on F, G. In other words, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we just play the rest as normal. So it's a very simple idea, but it works really well. So a really great way to vary your tangos playing is just to loop the original idea, and then every other time you play it, use the different bass line that we've just looked at. So let's try that, just alternating between one and the other. Here we go. So you see how very quickly, just by moving between one and the other, you can make it sound like you're doing an awful lot with your compass playing, when really you've just changed one detail. So now I'd like to look at one more idea for embellishing your compass, and this one's a bit more advanced. We're going to focus on the counter rhythm. So instead of focusing on 1, 2, 3 at the start, we're going to focus on and, the kind of 1 and 2 and idea. So we're starting out on the same chord as normal, but we're going to do the tap on 1 and then an upstroke with the index finger on the and of 1. So it's 1 and. On beat 2, we do nothing, and on the and of 2, we do a second upstroke with the index. So all together, 1 and 2 and. Now, this is where it gets a bit more complicated. We're going to move to 2 new chords here. So previously in Tangos, we've just moved between the B flat and the A. What we're going to do now is we're going to have 2 new chords. So we're going to have C9, this voicing, and then we're going to move to this chord. Now, don't let this chord confuse you. It looks complicated, but it's really very simple. So go back to your original B flat chord. Take out the F and have the open D instead. And now put that finger that's available on G. And there you go. Now, what is this chord? A lot of people always ask me. It's quite simple. Technically speaking, this is a G minor chord. It's basically an inversion of this. Problem is, that doesn't really describe the chord's function. In the context that we're using it, although technically speaking it's an inversion of a G minor chord, technically speaking it's really just a function, a different version of a B flat. Okay, so it's really a B flat / G. But it's a really beautiful chord. And all we're going to do is move from that C9 to that B flat / G, and then back to A. So that is beats 3, 4, 5. And in terms of the right hand, all we're going to do is a downstroke with the thumb, with a golpeo, the tap, and an upstroke with the index on the and. So it's just 3 and 4 and then 1 and. All you've got to be worried about is moving between the different bass notes, because obviously the C9, the bass note's there. Whereas on the G minor, or B flat / G, however you want to call it, the bass note's there. And then here, the bass note's back on the A string. So when you're playing this, just be mindful of this subtle inflection of the thumb. You've got to move between the strings. So all you're going is 3 and 4 and 1 and. So let's put all that together. The bit at the start that goes 1 and 2 and the bit that goes 3 and 4 and 1 and. All together it's 1 and 2 and then, my apologies, I did it on the wrong chord there, not the A, B flat. Okay? So tap, up, and then C9, down, up, and then this voicing, and then the same on the A. So what this gives you is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and then you finish the way you do on all the others. So you've just gone 1 and then 2, downstroke of the index, and then put the phrygian note in and do the down strikes, the up strike, and then lift off and go down, up to end. So all together it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. So it's a very simple idea, but it sounds really nice at full speed. way to vary your compass is to mix that idea in with the two I've already taught you. So we had the idea that was the basic idea. So you tap and have a single bass line. Then you have the first variation, where we have a more advanced bass line. And then you've got this new idea, where we use the counter rhythm and the more advanced chords, giving you So imagine what happens if you start mixing all this together. It suddenly means your compass playing becomes a lot more varied and a lot more sophisticated. So, as a final little demonstration, I'm just going to put all of that together so you can see what happens if you work it into your playing. Well, my dear friends, I'm afraid that's all we have time for today. If you enjoyed today's lesson, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to receive notifications. There'll be more videos coming soon. If you'd like to study with me on a more one-to-one basis, you can book Skype and Zoom lessons via my website. A link is in the description below. Until we next see each other, you stay safe, and as always, thank you for watching.